But I mean, it is what it is. That's only the wave 3. Wave 1. This is the wave 3. So we're expecting a 5. I still think it'll be nice to catch Sol down here. Like at $58, $50. All right, forget Sol. Let me quickly move on because I don't have much time. Let me have a look at TRVL. So I've been buying, huh? I've been aggressive. I've been very aggressive with my buys, and I just keep on buying because I think we're at a really good place to buy. And I wanted to have a look at these weekly candles. And I think a lot of people are interested to know what these weekly candles mean. So let me just go over these weekly candles quickly. And actually on Bybit it was green, and then the others it was all red. Yeah. So when I'm comparing these this is Gate. This is a red candle, red weekly candle. On MEX it was red. On KuCoin it was green. See that? We have a green weekly candle on KuCoin, and on Bybit was red, right? So KuCoin is the only one that's showing a green weekly candle, and the others are showing red ones. And then obviously let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is showing red, and ETH is showing green. Green? Is that current week? Yeah. What week are we in? No, it's showing red because we're in this week now, aren't we? The 22nd. So yeah, red, right? So Bitcoin is showing red as well. So what do we get from these candles? Well, let me just go through them quickly. First and foremost, let's go to KuCoin. Now, KuCoin showed us most of the volume in the last few weeks. I think ETH, David. So David is asking if you had to be in BTC, ETH or Sol, which would be better? And I think ETH, because Sol has already run and ETH hasn't. And then ETH BTC is showing a lot of strength. Yeah. There's a lot of strength in this move up, and we're back in the value area of this whole range. We're back in the value area. That's a really strong move. So I'm expecting ETH to move against Bitcoin. So definitely ETH over Bitcoin, definitely. And I also think that once ETH, if ETH is about to run, then it's gonna draw capital from Sol, because Sol has already run. Yeah. So that will be the natural progression. I don't expect Sol to run when ETH is running. I would expect ETH to take the spotlight in that moment. So I think ETH at the moment would be better in that context. And obviously I think Travel is going to be better than all of them. So anyway, that's by the by. Be in Travel. So KuCoin showed the most volume, and I think KuCoin is now just printed a green candle. So green candles means the bulls are in control. Red candles means the bears are in control. Yeah. I think both of these candles in this context are bullish. Whether this is a green candle or whether you're looking at a MEX candle, which is, or a MEX candle, or a Gate candle, which is red, or a Bybit candle, which is red. And I'll bring them both up. I'll only bring Gate up, but these basically what we're comparing is KuCoin on the left, gate on the right, and the previous week on gate we had a print of a red candle, and here we had a print of a green candle. There's a weekly in the weekly time frame. So you see, this is green, this is red. Yeah, green means that the bulls are in control, red means that the bears are in control. I think in the context of this, they're both bullish. Yeah, obviously green is more bullish, obviously, because it means the bulls are in control and they managed to close the price higher. That's what it means. Yeah, so the bulls close the price higher than what it was before. That's bullish. It's a higher close. That's bullish. That's what you want. You want higher closes. As the price continues to as time passes, you want the price to continue closing higher and higher and higher, and that's more bullish over time. Yeah, that's what the bulls want. Yeah, but this doesn't mean bearish because it's a red candle. The reason why this is also bullish, a red weekly candle like this is also bullish. Okay, I'll give you two reasons at the moment. Right, first, it shows you that the bears are in control. So on the gate, the bears were in control because they were able to close the price slightly lower than the previous week. In effect, what they have created, and I've talked about this a lot, is a weekly level there. Yeah, so we now have a level of resistance on gate where we don't have that level of resistance on KuCoin, because on KuCoin we've printed a green candle, not a red candle. On gate we've printed a red candle, so now we have a level to go through on the weekly basis. Yeah, that's why this is actually less bullish, or technically bearish. But the reason why I don't think this is so bearish as people might think is because the bears, after all of this volume, which is almost half of the previous week's volume on gate, they only managed to close the price a fraction lower. Like, the bears really failed in their attempt to close the price down. Like, it's very different behavior to this red candle here. Yeah, or you know, when you look in the previous price action, when you look at previous candles, there's a very different behavior. It's not the same like this candle here. You know, when the bears are really in control, they're pushing the price down. The bears have almost failed to do what they wanted, which is push the price down. I think a bearish close would have been closing on the 50% of the body of this green candle. Yeah, so if the bears have managed to close the price here, we'd be having a completely different conversation. Yeah, and what I'm seeing is that the bears have failed. They failed to reverse the price. They failed to reverse the volume. And looking on gate, and actually all the charts have their own kind of nuances, but I think on gate, looking at all of the way these candles have formed on the weekly time frame, yeah, I'm seeing a level that's holding on gate, which is very bullish. And I think the fact that the price has closed into this level suggests that we are at the floor of the price at the moment. Yeah, and the level that I'm looking at is this one here. You see this weekly level here, this green and this red level here. There, I've just drawn it for you. So I'm looking at the price and I'm seeing that there is a level here, and it also corresponds, and you know, these lines aren't 100% accurate, they're like little zones. It corresponds with this wick high here. Yeah, so you can almost argue that on gate it's showing that we're holding a flipped level. That's like a flipped level. That's like an SR flip, and the candles are showing you that. And you could also say, well, maybe it's not that line, maybe actually it's this green wick is the line. but it's basically saying the same thing. It's like a back test of a level. You see that? So what the bears really needed to do was get us below these lines, and they haven't managed to do that. And the volume is not insignificant. So there was enough volume for the bears to do what they wanted to do, and they failed. Basically, their attempt has failed, and it seems to be that we're above a significant level right now, and now we have to see if it holds. And when you're looking at KuCoin, it looks more bullish because the bulls have managed to close it higher. Yeah, so the KuCoin bulls are more bullish right now. They're basically doing most of the work. So we don't have a weekly level on KuCoin, and if you look at it's basically similarly saying the same thing, and actually it's the same wick. If you look at this candle, it's very similar, the wick that we closed above, this one here. Yeah, kind of corresponds with this level here as well, except this level here is slightly higher. But when you compare it on the wick now, you see that same, okay, no, it's a different candle. You see it's a different candle. So this candle here, so the charts have their own funny nuances, and they're saying the same thing but in different ways. Okay, so they have their own levels to hold and to cross, and they are doing it, but their own levels are different. They're not all exactly the same. So based on this, I'm looking and I'm seeing that on KuCoin, hold on, on KuCoin, it's slightly higher, and on Gate it's slightly lower, and maybe why the reason we had a pullback on Gate more so than in KuCoin was because that level was slightly lower. So we have these kind of weird nuances, but they are basically saying the same thing. And I think when you look at the other exchanges, like let me have a look at Bybit. Again, it's a red weekly candle, but if you see how the price closed above, we zoom in, I'll show you. See this, the wick here? See that? Just closed just above that wick. See that? I mean, pick any wick. You can pick any wick, pick them all. But effectively, I don't think this candle is bearish, because if it was bearish, it should have closed much lower. And in my mind, I'm thinking up to 50% of the body of here. That would have been fine. Like even if we closed all the way down to there, I would still probably be saying it's bullish. Not as bullish. I think holding wicks is really bullish. Yeah. And obviously, if it was a green candle, then it's like it'd look even more bullish. But I don't think this is bad. I think this is actually quite good. I think the profits have been taken. I think the sellers are exhausted. Yeah. I don't know who else is selling. I think everyone who wanted to sell should have, could have, would have sold in the last 2 weeks. And I think now we're looking to be buying, because we're clearly above. Look, clearly we're above previous wicks on all the charts, and clearly the price is at a good place to continue. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment, without really kind of going into too much detail. For me, the candles are bullish, and I said this before on the daily time frame, because I think a lot of people, like, I remember this candle here, remember this inverse red. This was actually really bearish compared to where we are now, because it closed back in the range. You know, we had this range, we had this range going, and you had a liquidity grab of these highs, of these higher prices. The price went up, took the liquidity, closed back in the range. And I said that on the stream on the 29th of December, I said this is the moment for the bears to shine. You know, if the bears want to sell, they have their candle now, they have their volume. You know, we're back in the range. If they want to sell, you could sell. And this is it. Sometimes these candles print and it gives the sellers an opportunity to do something, and then you have to see what happens afterwards. And if there aren't really any sellers, and they weren't, obviously there weren't enough, it wasn't a real representation of the market. It was just one person probably just selling into an increase in value. Then the price will still continue on its trajectory. So I mean, after all of this selling, I'm actually thinking this is still quite bullish, extremely bullish. And obviously, in my mind, I don't really want to come back into this lower range. I don't really want to do that. Now, if for some reason we do this and come back up, that's okay. Yeah, I don't mind that behavior either. Yeah, because that means I don't want us to go down and then stay down. Like if we come down and then come back up, that's fine. That's like a failed auction into the lower range. It's like not being accepted into the lower range for a short period of time. If that was to happen, I'd still be okay with that behavior. That's still not bearish. And on the weekly time, when you ever look at it, it will look like a wick. It won't be anything. But I just like, at the moment, this is quite good. But obviously, we want the price to be back in the highs. We don't want the price to be in the lows. And this is something people have to be aware of, that the longer the price is in the lows, yeah, the weaker this level becomes. Yeah. And so ultimately, we have to see how this plays out. We don't necessarily want the price to be in the lows for an extended period of time, because that doesn't make sense in the context of what should be happening at the lows, which is buying. Yeah. So if after an extended period of buying, if the price is still in the lows, then that's another conversation that we could have, right? But I don't necessarily expect that to happen, but let's see what happens, right? And yeah, this doesn't look too bad. What we want to see now on the kind of the daily price action for continuation is we want to see, this is KuCoin. So we want to start seeing the price reclaim levels and hold them and flip them as support. So this is the volume range on KuCoin, and every exchange has its own volume range. So I think in the first instance, what I want to start seeing is flipping that into support. Start ranging in the highs, you know, start ranging in the highs, making higher lows, and then going up. You know, that's kind of what you want to start seeing. That would be a slow ascent. A more bullish ascent would obviously be some kind of impulsive move up. And I think that could happen because when you look at the Bitcoin chart, we're above the point of control now. We're in the value area. You know, the flow of capital could come from Bitcoin. A couple more attacks of this value area high, get above it, and we could be off. You know, this is very possible. So let's see how this all plays out. Good morning, Marve. It's shrinking about 2.5%, I guess, until now. Shrinking. All right. That's TRVL, I think. I don't know if there's anything anyone else wants to add. I was having a look at the Telegram group of Dtravel, and Jordan 23, I'm not going to show it, or maybe I should quickly so I can put it in my update later. People like to see these updates, so let me just quickly do that actually so people can see what I'm saying. So Jordan 23 is asking for high level tokenomics update. Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat, Jordan. I think we're all anticipating this tokenomics document. Me included. So I think we're all on the same page. So let's see what happens. No one has put pressure on the team, because obviously this is a really important moment for Dtravel and for TRVL. So we don't want them to rush into something prematurely. But at the same time, the whole community is waiting in anticipation, so they have to be aware of that. And so at the very least, I think a lot of people would want updates to see what's going on. This is quite new. This is really interesting. So excited to announce Crypto Seve and I are the first TRVL advocates. Looking forward to sharing with you all the latest updates, information on the team. Perfect. So we have 2 TRVL advocates. Look at that. Let me switch this to where is it? Did it go into the wrong tab? How do I get to that tab? That's not it. I just changed it to my screen and it just vanished. Oh no, that's fine. Let me pull it up. I hate OBS. It's so rubbish. Literally pulled it to my screen and it's gone. Alright, I'll just read it for you. No worries. I can't show you because it's just, for some reason, it's vanished. So basically there's 2 influencers. They have 10k followers, and one is Crypto Sev and the other one is Crypto Guts. He has 10k. Crypto Sev has about 5k. And yeah, let's see what happens. They're TRVL advocates. That's quite interesting. Is there anything else interesting here? There's a lot of interesting stuff. New apartments being launched, new bookings. Look at this. New booking processed. New booking processed. Look at that. New operators sign up. And look at this. This is really interesting. Now, I don't know if anyone picked up on this on the Telegram. Noah Tillon. Hey team, a VC fund would be interested as a partnership to be with Dtravel and an equity side of a partnership, right? Sin replies, you can DM me. Well, I think because it's a DAO, it's impossible to have equity in that sense of the word. That would be very weird. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But the reality is, I don't think the community will be impressed with that kind of behavior. So regardless of who it is, how can a VC fund own equity? You know, that wouldn't make any sense. You'd have to reflect the equity. If you're going to do that, you'd have to reflect the equity in the value of the tokens and force the VC fund to buy tokens. That's the correct course of nature. So I think there's a question here that has to be answered. And I think because the guy has made himself publicly visible in the Telegram, this conversation, I will be asking Cynthia about this to make sure that it's clear and transparent. That being said, I think this is quite bullish because you have a VC fund interested in Dtravel. But I don't think that I would be too impressed with some kind of equity partnership. I think at the very first instance, you would expect the equity to be reflected in the tokens, and that should be offered to everyone equally if that was to go ahead. I don't think this in my mind is not necessarily the right course. So we have to see how that plays out. I will follow up on that. Or maybe Cynthia would listen to my stream. And then she can just get back to me. All right, I think that's it. I have to go, unfortunately. I was going to do this songbird, but I'm just going to have to do it tomorrow. So I apologize that this is quite short, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care. Hello? Chili?